Om Namah Shivaya. Good morning, students. Do you remember what we discussed in the last class? Yes, about energy, isn't it? We discussed about the different forms of energy, and in that we focused on mechanical energy. And I told you there are two types of mechanical energy. They are kinetic energy and potential energy. Then we discussed about what is meant by kinetic energy, how to or what are the factors on which kinetic energy depends, and how to derive the expression for kinetic energy, and finally the work energy theorem, isn't it? Now we are going to discuss about potential energy. What is meant by potential energy? Kinetic energy is the energy associated with the motion of the object, isn't it? So kinetic energy is the energy possessed by virtue of motion of an object. So what about the potential energy? What happens when an object comes to rest? Okay, suppose imagine that if you are raising an object in upward direction, and when we keep that object at a certain height, it can do some work, isn't it? So when we drop something from certain height, it can do some work. That means it also possesses certain energy. So that energy possessed by virtue of its position is known as potential energy. If we raise an object to certain height, it possesses potential energy, and it is based on the gravity. When we raise the object, we are doing certain work against gravity, isn't it? So that work done stored as potential energy, and that energy is known as gravitational potential energy. You already know when we hammer a nail, we have to raise the hammer to certain height. So when we raise the hammer to certain height, it attains potential energy, and that energy utilized to fix the nail on the wood. So when we beat it or when we hammer on it, that energy utilized to fix the nail on the wood, isn't it? So all these are based on the gravity. So we call it as gravitational potential energy. Other type of potential energy is there that is known as elastic potential energy. That is known as elastic potential energy. Suppose if you are stretch this rubber band, it can do certain work. So when I stretch this rubber band, certain energy stored in this rubber band, and that is known as elastic potential energy. Can you say some examples like this? Yes. In the case of bow and arrow, how we are using this bow and arrow? We have to move the string backward or bow backward along with the arrow, isn't it? And when we release, it will move in forward direction. So in the stretched position, it can do some work. So there, when we are stretching backward, the potential energy is stored, and that energy is known as elastic potential energy. Your other example is when we compress a spring. In the compressed position, the potential energy is stored. When it is in compressed position, when we do some work to compress it, that work done is stored as potential energy, and that is elastic potential energy. When we release it, it can do some work, isn't it? So that is an example for elastic potential energy. Another one is in the case of toy car. We will wind the toy car, isn't it? So if we are not winding, it cannot move. But when we wind for some time, when the spring inside it become tight, and when we release, it can move, isn't it? So it is slowly released and it is moving. So there, when we wind, elastic potential energy is stored, and this elastic potential energy is utilized for the movement of the toy car. So all these are examples for elastic potential energy. So finally we can we define the potential energy as it is the energy possessed by virtue of its position, structure or configuration. Okay, the potential energy is the energy possessed by virtue of its position, structure or configuration. Okay, and we have to know on which factors the potential energy of an object depends. Okay. Now, an object increases its energy when it is raised to certain height. So, to raise that object to certain height, we have to apply the force. So certain work has to be done to raise the object against gravity. And that work done is stored as potential energy, and it is known as gravitational potential energy. So, the gravitational potential energy of an object at a point or at a certain height from the ground is defined as the work done to raise that object from the ground to that point against gravity. Is it clear? And it is very easy to derive the equation for potential energy. For that, we have to consider an object having mass m, which is raised to certain height h. We know to raise an object to certain height, we need to apply the force. Then the minimum force required to raise the object against gravity is equal to the weight of the object. You already know what is meant by weight. What is the equation for weight? W is equal to mg, mass into acceleration due to gravity. So the minimum force required to raise the object to certain height is equal to the weight of the object. So F is equal to W is equal to mg. Okay, and here how much work is done? That is stored as potential energy, right? So here we have to find the work done. So what is the equation for the work done? W is equal to, or work done, W is equal to force into displacement. Here force we know that is equal to mg. F is equal to mg. Okay, now it is raised to certain height h means displacement s equal to h. Displacement s is equal to h. So what will be the equation for work done? Work done, W is equal to force into displacement, that is equal to mg into h. So that is the equation for the gravitational potential energy. So potential energy or gravitational potential energy E or EP is equal to mgh. So here potential energy depends upon the mass of the object and the height at which it is raised. These are the two factors, and acceleration due to gravity g is constant. Okay, so variable factors are mass and height. You already know if we take two objects, one is having less mass and another one is greater mass, which will have more or which on which we have to do more work to raise to certain height. Obviously, we have to apply more force to raise the heavy object, isn't it? So it attains more potential energy. So as the mass increases, potential energy also increases. Likewise, if you are taking the two objects having same mass, but we have to raise these two objects to different heights. So on which object we have to apply more force, or on which case we have to do more work? Obviously, to which height, which is raised to more height, we have to do more work, isn't it? We have to do more work to raise the object to maximum height or more height. So the potential energy depends upon mass and height to which it is raised. As mass increases, potential energy also increases. As height increases, potential energy also increases. So finally, the equation for potential energy E is equal to mgh. Okay. As we discussed now, we know the potential energy depends upon mass and height to which it is raised, isn't it? And it only depends upon the vertical height difference between the initial and the final position. It does not depend upon the path along which it is raised. So we can raise the object directly in upward direction or by taking in different manner. Okay, so we can prove that it does not depend upon the path along which path it is raised to that height. It only depends upon the vertical height difference between initial and final position that we can look. Here you can see a block which is raised to certain height h from A to B by taking two different paths, path 1 and path 2. In the first case, it is raised directly from A to B. through path 1. So if m is the mass of the object, then the potential energy at B is equal to mgh. Okay. In the second case, from the same position, it is raised to a height h1. Then it moves in the horizontal direction. After that, it is again raised to a height h2. Then again it moves in the horizontal direction towards left, and then raised a height h3, and finally reach the position at B. Okay, so in this case we can calculate potential energy by using h1, h2, h3. When it is raised to a height h1, the potential energy E is equal to mgh1. mgh1. Then it moves in the horizontal direction, but the height didn't change. So in this case, there is no change in the potential energy because same height it is moving. Okay, and then it is raised to a height h2. In that case, the potential energy E is equal to mgh2. mgh2. Okay, after reaching the height h2, it again moves in the horizontal direction towards left. In that moment, there is no change in potential energy because it is moving in the same height. Okay, so there is no change in potential energy. Then it is again raised to a height h3. In that case, potential energy is mgh3. When it is raised in the height h3, the potential energy is equal to mgh3. Okay, then total potential energy is equal to mgh1 plus mgh2 plus mgh3. So total potential energy, we can write it as mg into h1 plus h2 plus h3. But here we know h1 plus h2 plus h3 is equal to height h. So we can replace h1 plus h2 plus h3 by h. So finally we will get potential energy E is equal to mgh. So in both the case or in both the situations, the work done on the object is mgh. That means in both the case the potential energy is mgh. That means same. Okay, so potential energy does not depends upon the path followed by the object. It only depends upon the vertical height to which it is raised. That is why we got the same potential energy in both the cases. Okay. Thank you. Nam Shivaya.